The European Union says that each member state has an equal voice until one of them says no. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán is blocking billions in funding for the Ukraine war. And now EU elites are trying to bypass, isolate, or pressure Orbán into compliance with their demands. And that exposes how power really works in the EU. Hello, I'm Michael, and this channel looks at power, geopolitics, and decline from a Southern realist perspective. Orbán is not breaking European Union rules. It's important to say that at the outset. He is using the rules to win concessions for his country. In the EU, unanimity provides each country with veto power, and Orbán is using that veto power. It's similar in the US history to the Articles of Confederation, if you're familiar with that. So Ukraine funding requires consensus. However, that consensus does not exist. It does exist among the EU ruling class, people like Macron, Merz, and Starmer. Yes, it exists amongst that class, yes. But it does not exist in every country. It doesn't exist in Slovakia and Hungary, for example. And instead of accepting disagreement, EU elites are trying to pressure those countries into compliance. They're also trying to electorally defeat Orbán in Hungary. There's an election coming up, and most EU elites openly back Peter Magyar, Orbán's opponent, who said that he will stop resisting EU demands on a lot of these issues. He's going to be a voice of compliance. And that's exactly what Brussels is looking for. So this conflict is not really about only Orbán and Fico. It's not only about Hungary and Slovakia and maybe Czechia. It's actually about what happens when a democratic process reveals an answer that the ruling class doesn't like. But when dissent becomes unacceptable, then consensus is not really consensus anymore. It's just enforcement. And that's exactly what you have going on right now in the EU, where the elites are doing everything in their power to defeat Orbán. So the EU says that it's a union of equals. It has great rhetoric about this. However, crises reveal how systems really work. And what we see going on in the European Union right now are the limits of dissent.